All right, look at that clock highlighted in blue. When it hits 30 seconds, that is the official count. Normally when it gets to, we've been watching, about 16, 15 seconds is when the racebirds start their move toward those cones that mark the start-finish line. You've got to hit it right at that 30-second mark, and you've got to hit it moving along.
Their lanes will be predetermined before the start of this race, and 15 seconds to go. The countdown has begun. Who is going to get the best start going through those gates? Let's find out.
All right, very even at this point, and if anybody gets a little bit of a jump, sometimes they have to check up a little bit, can hurt their momentum. It is really, really close. We're green, we are bows out, and here we go, and look at that launch right there by Saud Ahmed. Right when he cleared the green flag, you can see he went to boost and just made this big jump and has put the nose ahead of that racebird for sure. Everybody maintaining their lanes as per the regulations, and on the outside for Team Checo right now, you can see Danny Close. He's going to stay out. You have to maintain that lane until you turn in. And we've seen sometimes you can work this outside line and actually float, if you will, a little bit more speed around the turn.
Yeah, great start for Ahmed in the Team Aoki, although that's now potentially going to come under threat by the Team Checo behind you. Just taking the move on Team Brazil, but this is where really everything comes for. This exit now, getting onto the start, this strong straight here, using the exit possible, try and get good balance. He slowed down a little bit. Sergio Perez's team coming flying around the outside. This could be a close one, Greg.
Danny Close making a huge charge, doing that outside as we had talked about, rolling, if you will, some nice speed, and has moved up into that second spot right now. Stefan Hagen for Team Brazil dropping off just a little bit, but out front right now, Saud Ahmed is opening up a little bit of a margin, but this is one of the closer races we've seen. The margin now about 3 seconds, and that'll go up and down based on who used boost. And right now, Danny Close in Team Checo, he has been boosting right into and through this turn. That's impressive when you're boosting through a turn like that. He's pretty confident right now, and he has closed that pace right back down to about 3 seconds. And look at him coming on.
That's confidence and control in the ability and the balance of the racebird, and it is pretty close. I mean, Team Brazil, I think, have been caught up in a lot of the wake of the two boats ahead, and now they're just kind of slowed down a bit. But Aoki and Team Checo, this could be a very interesting battle to follow. Who's going to make that decision to use the long lap first? Is it going to be something they leave to the end and try and build up a time, or is one going to use the opportunity potentially on the next lap to get ahead and get it done?
Well, it looked to me like Danny Close was moving farther left, heading into that right-hander to try and open that angle up. Now he's cut through on the other side, and he's going for the long lap. He's going to get that done now. Smart move, get out of the wake of the boat of Saud Ahmed, the racebird there. Smart move, I think.
Yeah, especially if you feel confident in the setup and you feel like you've got the balance to be able to just maximize lap time now and just try and get that, put the work in and shorten the gap behind. But this is going to be interesting now. Coming out of the long lap, they're going to be met with by Team Brazil. It's going to be very, very, very close indeed. That wake is just going to cause some turbulence for both of them and potentially slow them down and play even more into Team Aoki.
Boy, that was really risky. Now that you think about it, for Team Checo there and Danny Close, if he'd gotten trapped behind Team Brazil and been in that wake and wash, that could have really spelled disaster. And remember, it's the inside boat at the merge, has the right of way, if you will, and Danny just had enough speed in his racebird to be able to sneak through and stay in that second spot. And now he's just got to absolutely drop the hammer and see if he can stay close enough that when Saud Ahmed decides to make that long lap move, these two guys will be in an opportunity to jump on that.
Now, in this battle between first and second here, Aoki Racing team and Sergio Perez, this is P6 in the championship. With there's crucial points up for grabs here. This is a chance to move ahead and start making a bit of a legacy for the rest of the season, because it's very, very close between those two race teams. But who will come out on top in this race?
Well, and that's exactly, the scenario here is sometimes when you face a little adversity in the semifinal rounds, the best thing you can do, put it behind you, go out and have a great run in the place race, earn the points, max points you can in that, and just build a little confidence. And that's exactly the key. And of course, right now for Saud Ahmed, what he wants to do, he wants to build a margin of 15 seconds or more, and he's not getting it done. He's at 13 seconds, and that is about what we've been seeing for a long lap. lap here. So it's going to be fascinating to see whether or not he's going to be able to open that up enough. And Danny Close just set fastest first sector of this race. So Danny is giving it his absolute all right now to try and stay within range. And again, Danny's the only one so far who's done the mandatory long lap.
Yeah, looking like a pretty high trim there, trying to have that foil almost just as high out of the water as possible to get the right balance and just glide across the top of the water without going too far to then mess up the balance by having the foil come out. And there seems to be a good setup currently, and it's working because effectively putting in those times. But then having said that, Ahmed now putting in a fastest sector 2, currently on a 1:38, which is a pretty reasonable lap time for what we've seen so far in these semi-finals and races so far.
Well, he's ballooned that margin up to 16.5 seconds. That ought to do it in terms of that long lap and when he decides to take it. And you know, sometimes when you're leading and you've got that kind of a margin, you're loath to take that long lap and possibly put yourself in some peril in terms of another of the race bird's wake. But at a certain point, you know, remember, you have to do it before the race ends at some point right now. And Stefan Hagen, he's staying relatively close, and he has not done a long lap yet either. So a bobble certainly from Danny Close here could have Stefan Hagen in a chance to jump into second.
Is this the long lap going in now? Yeah, I believe it is. I think a comfortable window to come out still in the lead, avoid too much problem. Yeah, this is going to be fine, I think. Just going to be now maintain that pace that they have been doing so far with an even better lap time, a 1:34 now before that long lap. Looking pretty good for Aoki, and it's good because they've shown performance, they've shown pace, but just haven't had much to show for it come the end of the weekend. But now this is at least some more points on the board.
And again, they were just super quick in qualifying, so you know, we knew that they had the pace here, and he's getting a lot out of it. And when you think about how the C's are right now, to be running a 1:34, that's really impressive times. I mean, fastest qualifying time we saw was a 1:30.
Yeah, a big step in the right direction to go into Lake Como the next race, and then maybe try and get into those race-offs and then finals hopefully as well. But whereas now it is just settling for those 3 points and finishing P7 overall.
And here he comes about to complete this, coming to the line. Here we go, and it is Ahmed and Team Aoki coming through with a superb run here as they start this final lap, getting ready to get after it here. The margin only 5 seconds back to Danny Close. So for Saud Ahmed, you know, one big moment hitting the swell the wrong way, it can change things up like that. That was a big rocket as he turned in. Didn't lose too much momentum as a result. And right now you can imagine Danny Close, anytime he's got boost available, he's going to be on it.
Yeah, this is really, really well done to close that gap. It might be a bit too late on this final lap, but still, remarkable work to keep the fight on.
Here is a look at Team Brazil once again. Stefan Hagen, who has lost a little bit more time now that he has done his long lap. He's fallen back a little bit. There you can see Marcelo Claret, who is the owner of the team, along with his daughter, standing right there as well. And obviously this has been a struggle for them this weekend. Again, having to bring in a reserve driver, but they've just put their heads down and gone to work. And if nothing else, they are learning and really gaining data here.
Yeah, we said at the start of this weekend that this could be a chop and change of the standings, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. With what's happened with Team Miami and also Team Brazil now, this is going to look very different come the end of today.
Into the final turn for the final time, Saud Ahmed for Aoki Racing powers his way out of that last sequence of corners to the finish line, and it is going to be Aoki Racing, Saud Ahmed winning in the place race, earning those crucial 7th place points. Here comes Danny Close, second for Team Checo, and an aggressive drive, and was able to keep that margin, close it up just a little bit. Just wasn't quite enough for Danny Close and Team Checo to come through. And here is Stefan Hagen for Team Brazil, and again, he has not raced until this weekend. And most of the other pilots have been racing now for 4 rounds at this stage. So it's been a straight up learning curve for Stefan Hagen, even though he's got lots of power boating experience. One thing we have learned is that that doesn't necessarily bring you success in a foil flying race bird here. And he comes through in 3rd. And And there you can see a little bit of sullen faces, as you can imagine. They're competitors as well. They want to get out there and do it. But you know, again, right from the off, you can see it was going to probably be a little bit of a tough weekend for them, and they just put their heads down.